I'm still the paper boy, getting at the paper boy. 80 cent money collar, yeah, that's my top toy. Hey, partner, get your girl, cause every time she...
What up, y'all? You watching that at Fraathouse 11, man. Subscribe, like, share, y'all already know, man. Always spell the frat with them double A's. We back in the building, man. Got some good looking people in the audience, man. You know what I'm saying? Eating that good chicken. Shout out to Real Steel. Thank y'all for having us. We got a special guest in the building, man, that I want to introduce. Man, how can I come with these titles, man? Business consulting, education, branding ambassador, sponsorships, it's some sponsorship broker, film company, just all around. It's just too many titles for me to name with this brother, and we gonna get into it for real. We gonna get into all of it. We got Raquan Scott Bivens in the building, but as he always say, man, you can call me RaRa. You know what I'm saying? We got RaRa in the building, y'all. What's up, my brother? Big brother in the building, man.
Yes, sir, Fraathouse. Thanks for having me, y'all.
How you feeling, my brother?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. You know, I woke up breathing, so I'll never have complaints.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, I want to start out, you know what I'm saying? I want to start out and give it, because I like the phrase that you say, from the block to the boardroom.
Right.
So I want to start out with the background before we get to all the good stuff, because I ain't going to lie, man. Your resume,
yes, sir,
and your accolades, like, when I looked over all your shit,
yeah,
I said to myself, it's intimidating a little bit, because I said to myself, you know, I read all your accomplishments and everything you're doing right now, and I said to myself, I said, damn, I thought I was doing something. I said, I ain't did a damn thing with my life. You know what I'm saying? I need to catch up. You know what I'm saying? But it's very inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? A brother like you. But you a real brother too. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize that street element. So I want to go back to your background. You know, I know you might not bring that up too much nowadays. But take us back to like the background before you got into all the education and all the accomplishments. Like, you know, tell them where you're from and a little bit about your original background.
Born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Pittsburgh. Spent some time in juvie, foster care, you know what I mean? But I had a young mother. My mother's side of the family was pretty rough. They was in the streets, you know what I mean? So I had to deal with the junkies, the hustlers, you know what I mean? The goons and shit, the cobblers.
What part of Brooklyn?
Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Jamaican, half Jamaican, so
okay.
It was all over. So Caribbean knew them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so just and being, I guess, placed in Pittsburgh, staying with my grandmother was like a different balance for me. You know, you grow up with that cutthroat, you know, grimy kind of survival.
Yeah, because I was about to say Pittsburgh, grimy too.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what, you know, I came to Atlanta from Pittsburgh because I was in the streets. You know what I mean? I was definitely an apex hustler. You know what I mean? So I was always made. You know what I mean? I was always able to keep my position. Strong and solid. You know what I mean? But I was one of them guys. I was always trying to provide an opportunity for the young homies, for the youngsters and shit. So for me, it was just like in my spirit to kind of like be a protector, be a provider. You know what I mean? Even though I had to survive, I had to hustle to survive.
Yeah.
And I was with the shits. You know what I mean? So, and I was a big young guy. So, you know, I was pretty formable, and you know, I had a.
So you always had size on you?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't as heavy as I was. You know, I had got shot. You know, coming up in these streets, and I kind of gained weight after I got a bullet in my back. Still, so you know, coming through that whole lifestyle, you know what I mean. You know, I was always pretty formidable, but I think just you know, getting with the right people, you know, in the community. You know, I got involved in some MMA shit, some fighting, boxing, you know, and then I got, you know, started 8th grade, I got into football real heavy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that was the year my mom passed away, so she died when she was 33, so I took the number 33, and, you know, I kind of just let that.
That was your football number?
Yeah, all the way through college, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's dope, you know what I'm saying?
So for me, it was just kind of like that transition, like it was the growth, you know what I mean? And like I literally come from the bricks, from the mud for real. And you know, for me, I was one of them cats that went to any city and wasn't labeled where you from, because I got down with the niggas who was putting in work. So there's fake niggas everywhere, there's real niggas everywhere. So
right.
You know, I was one of them cats that kind of drew the imagery of the ones that was real. You know what I mean? I connected with the ones that was real. And I think just having the opportunity to play football tightened me up. You know, I ended up getting my degree when my knee didn't hold up in football. I went back and got my degree my 5th year.
What made you even go to college? Like, you know, hustling on the block?
Because I had a couple options.
What was the
I had a couple options to, you know what I mean, get sent back up, you know what I mean, or get caught up in the game. You know, I had like I said, I was in one of them cities where, you know, brother with my type of charisma, my type of power, it was attractive to the streets.
Yeah.
So a lot of the OGs had me working for them and putting in work, and I was just kind of like, I never wanted to be controlled. So for me, I just learned how to be my own man, but I always went back to kind of like, how could I help the situation? How could I make it a better situation? It was more than just hustling, more than selling drugs and fighting and banging and selling guns. I wanted to do more, and I think that part of me kept me different. You know, even though I was in the jungle, I was just different.
So you still had a desire to do more with your life from the beginning.
Yep.
So what schools did you go to, and where did you get your education at?
Well, I got a scholarship to Temple. I got into some things early on and ended up going to Temple University in Philly. You know, and then I ended up going to Slippery Rock University, where I finished my last 4 years and graduated from my first degree.
Okay, and what was the first degree you had?
Mass Communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bachelor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a BA.
Now, did you continue after that? Like,
after when I had to try out with Philly and I had to try out with Miami, but after that knee injury, it wasn't really holding up the way I thought it would. So
that's the worst injury to have in football.
Yeah, I tore my ACL, man. I'm limping now because of it. You know what I mean?
Dang.
One of them old OG injuries. You know what I mean? When they say, you know, you better get an education because you fuck up one of your knees. You know, you better get a job.
Nah, they always say that. That ACL and that knee, they be like,
I had a lot of
you better have something to fall back on.
And that shit is real. And I preach that to the young boys now. You know what I mean? And I think for me, working with a lot of brothers in the gang that was really making some power moves after the league, you know, and after football. I got with a lot of the guys that didn't make it to the league. You know, some had made it to the league and still doing side business, you know, like entertainment and running clubs and things. So I got with one of my partners, man. He was the OG. He had played with the Steelers for a while. He had a promotion company, and I did an apprenticeship with him for about a year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And after about a year, I decided to go ahead and get my own club. So one of my cousins hooked me up with his OG. He had a big building, and downstairs was a whole club. I mean, I went down and cleaned up, paid me $300 a month. I was making about $7,000 a weekend.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because he wasn't really using it.
And this was where?
In Pittsburgh, on the Hill District. Yeah, and I was from a Crip set, and the Hill District is like a blood set. But the ironic scene in the whole play was the mindset that I had. There was never no murders. There was never no gunfight. There was never no drama. It was just a whole vibe.
All love.
I mean? All love. You know what I mean?
So you was bringing peace, but by bringing people together.
Yeah, indeed. You know what I mean? Because you got to vibrate higher when you know you're in the jungle like that.
Did you have some like Bloods and Crips like in the parties together and type shit?
I mean, we was on their set. We was on their block. We was in the middle of the hood, and all my cats from the crib, from my set, they was supporting and rocking. Yeah. So I guess the fact that I was one of them guys that could hit anywhere in the city. You know what I mean? And I didn't get in the color banging. You know what I mean? But it was just kind of like, we're gonna do better. Let's get this money. I was heavy on that money game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That eliminated a lot of bullshit too. I mean, I had Bloods and Crips, you know what I mean? I had GDs, you know what I mean? And it was never not one fight, not one gunshot in my whole year and a half there.
That was good shit. Like, It ain't nothing like that money to get brothers' minds together and make them chill out.
When they see a big homie making moves and they see you riding good, you moving good, they see emotion, you know what I mean? You blessing their homie, you blessing their sister, their family, their auntie, you know what I mean? And they see it. Then when they see you on some set shit, it ain't no drama. It's all, you know, and I was really, you know, mindful of how I respected the young homies too.
Yeah, I was about to say it was probably how you was moving too though, because you had to be, it ain't just the money. To survive in a setting like that, you have to be respected. You had to have respect with them brothers, you know what I'm saying? In order for them to come in your establishment and keep that shit cool like that means they respected you.
Indeed. Well, you learn when you in the game, you know, you learn how to be a winner or a survivor. You know, you learn how to be a Vic or a Mark. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it was just in me, man. My mom raised me well before she passed on. She like a man child. Like she gave me a lot of skills. A lot of knowledge on just, you know, how to man up, you know, how to hold myself, carry myself. A principle that some OGs didn't give me until I got a little older, you know, but while she was living, she definitely kept me right.
Okay. So you venture into the business side of things, because that's the hustle mentality.
Yeah, indeed.
Where was the turning point breaking into the boardroom style of business and doing it that way? Like, what was your... Like in your words or in your thoughts, what was your first big venture as far as like real business, LLC, like putting it on paper?
Right. Well, I got my first LLC after college when I got out of college.
Okay.
I mean, I was 23. I came back from Canada. I played half the season in Toronto. So when I came back from Canada, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and go full-fledged on biz. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I got my first LLC. My company was Jam Rock Productions.
Okay.
You know what I mean, so I used that company name to promote all my clubs and all my events. I had a construction company, a general contracting company, so I had community centers that I worked with, and I also managed a couple other clubs. So I was doing a lot of, not only a service provider, but I had my own businesses as well as a youngster.
Was you working with the youth in that community?
Yeah, I've been working with the youth since I've been a youth. Since like college, I was a youth counselor. I used to go, even in high school, I used to go to like the mental hospitals. And they used to always ask me to come back because I was talking to them. I had uncles and aunts that was crazy, and you know that it didn't seem that crazy to me. It seemed like one of them. You know, I was used to that type of. Yeah. I knew how to talk to them. My grandmother would be like, "You don't gotta talk to them like they understand. They might be a little off, but they understand." So that was just my mentality.
Treated them like
I treated them like
people,
have real conversation with them. They go off left, I go off left with them. You know what I mean? So it was just my vibe, man. Just kind of like. Always wanting just to be like a provider or a protector, you know what I mean? Like I was one of the guys that was a bully killer. I mean, I hated big niggas that wanted to bully people or be abusive with women or, you know, over the top Debo shit. Like, man, if you want to do something, let's rock.
You was a protector too.
Yeah, that was just in my spirit. You know what I mean? I grew up like that because I had to protect, you know, a lot of people young, you know what I mean, and protect them from that lifestyle, that jungle, right? So it was just always in me to be like that.
Wow.
And I think when I got my last year, about right before I turned 24, I got shot. And I got an altercation with a brother, and one of his little young partners shot me in my back and twice in my stomach when I fell. So
dang.
I was paralyzed for like 7 months. They got 2 of the bullets out. I still have one in my spine.
You got shot 3 or 4 times?
3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, so, you know, for me, it was just like I asked God, like, I ain't seen no lights and none of that shit, but I said, God, if you know, let me get up out of here, let me walk again. I want to glorify your name, but I want to do it in the jungle. I just had a knack to really just get back to
like a street ministry.
Yeah, like, you know, and I think that was part of that became my purpose. You know what I mean? Like culture preservation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took all that to make
because
you who you are
when you
today.
hard-headed and you got ego, you got pride, you know, you the man, you the ladies man, you can fight, you got everything you want to have, but God will show you a hard lesson too when he wants you. And the fact that he had mercy on me, I knew that was purpose.
Yeah, time to sit down.
Yeah, so I came to Atlanta 24 in 95.
So you kind of answered another one of my questions with what you just said, like having a dramatic turning point in your life that was the one, you know, losing my mom was heavy. I think I still carry that. Everybody, you know, that's special, right? But getting shot and being that nigga and then being waist down, you know, with an E3 paralysis, that shit hit different.
Yeah.
You know, you see homies run off, you know, relationships dip out because they think, oh, this is a permanent situation. I ain't gonna say no name.
Was you temporarily paralyzed?
Yeah, I was paralyzed.
7 months.
7 months.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and I did like 3 months of rehab before I was able to get into a walker. And right around, I think September, I was able to fully walk with a limp. And I mean, I was rehabbing real heavy. I played ball most of my life, so the doctor said that my muscle memory and a lot of my actual physical attributes kept me in better shape than normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got back right and still had to handle some things before I left, and I decided, you know, I'm gonna come to Atlanta because my cousin, one of my cousins had got shot up and killed, and his father was one of my close uncles, right? And he came to the funeral. He said, "Yo, bro, I don't want to see you like this. You know what I mean? You know, come to Atlanta." He lived in Atlanta, Stone Mountain.
Yeah. And
I said, "Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm definitely come visit though." And like 2 weeks later, I got shot. He came to the hospital. When he came in, I welled up. I was like, "Damn, you just said that shit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
For me, it was just like Atlanta's. That's, you know, I've been in Atlanta 27 years now.
Okay.
And I haven't went back too much. You know, I got kids there, you know what I mean, family. But
once you came, you
once
stayed.
I came, this became home, and I got kids here in Atlanta. You know what I mean? So, you know, step kids and birth kids. So for me, it became my home, and you know, I learned how to come to Atlanta and rock with the niggas from Atlanta that was real. You know what I mean? I had to deal with the corny ones and the goofy ones, but there's a lot of real niggas and real G's down here in Atlanta, a lot of real ladies down here. Everybody ain't twerking and freaking. You know, so Atlanta been good to me. I ain't gonna make no complaints, and it opened up the door for me to get on a higher level, my intellectual side. And like you said, the transition to get from the block to the boardroom, I was able to broker a lot of business deals. You know, I had my second degree, you know, 3 years in. Okay. And I was able to, in business management, right? Okay. So I was able to kind of cultivate, you know, some of my business skills and my hustle together. Yeah. And it was like, yo, you the go-to guy. Yo, we need a favor. Yo, I need this. I need a studio. I need a video offer. So I said, you know what? Everybody keep asking me for favors and pat me on the back, but I ain't eating with nothing. Right. I got to create my own plate to eat. So I made my service a business and created resource acquisition specialist. Yeah. So if you needed a service from me, I needed a retainer or a budget. And now my business became business. So if I wasn't personally involved with you, our endeavors was business. You know, sometimes it ain't always a money exchange. It could be equity, it could be resources, it could be just information. But, you know, at least a small gesture would make sense, you know, if you're putting in work or providing the service.
The information alone is power. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely worth a retainer, worth some money. Just getting that game, you know, so you could take what you doing to the next level or whatever. And that's one thing I definitely noticed about you when I first met you. You know what I'm saying? I knew you was definitely real, and I knew you had that heart, you know what I'm saying, that real heart, and you wanted to give brothers game, you know what I'm saying, especially your people. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm big
on that, especially when it ain't easy out here. So when you see brothers out here putting in work, and you know, it ain't about age, it ain't about none of that. It's about the energy you feel when somebody's hustling and putting in work, doing something positive. Thanks. You know, if I could drop some jewels and see my brothers win, I want my whole tribe to win. You know, I ain't gonna sit back and flex on, nigga, I ain't on that. You know what I mean? Like, let's all eat, let's all win.
Let's go together, family.
And unfortunately, you know, I became more surrounded around a lot of stronger women than men, because brothers want to walk up beside you, they don't want to go hunting with you, but they want to hang with you when you making moves or when it's all good.
They want to eat after you kill.
They want to eat, you know, and I did all the hunting, or you know, a few of us did the hunting, and I want to hang out and rub backs and make jokes with the ladies, and, you know what I mean? So I found myself dealing with things a little more strategically, you know what I mean? And I just moved different, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, you know, I've worked with in the past, a lot of them had things to say, good and bad, you know, either way, I was still doing God's work, so I ain't really care about none of that.
So, when did you get into the entertainment part of this? Man, because I seen that in your portfolio too. RaRa agency, the music, the film. Like when did you break off into that part of the game?
The film side was like the latter. That was the most recent. But I in 99, 2000. I was a tour director for Bruce Mobile Tour. In 2001, I went to Cincinnati for the Bud Fest. And I was tour director for the Bud Fest. I got stationed in Cincinnati.
I remember Bud Fest.
Yeah, so I was tour director for that. And I got stationed in Cincinnati. And I always work with independent artists. I had a couple artists I was working with here in Atlanta. But when the tour ended, I stayed in Cincinnati for a minute. I did some great things with some dope people up there, some dope artists and poets from Cincinnati. It was a great experience, you know what I mean? And but I came back to Atlanta. But while I was in Cincinnati, I created a youth foundation for the arts, and it was called Hip Hop Ether.
Okay.
And it's an acronym.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
So
let them know what that acronym is, man.
Yeah, so hip hop is health is power, healing our peers, mental, physical, and spiritual. It's a big part of me saying culture preservation. And Ether is ETHER. It's education through hip hop entrepreneurial resources. And it's a platform, it's an education and awareness platform to get our youth and talk with them instead of talk at them, and let them know that their creative juices and their creative soul and their intellectual properties can be monetized and make it a business. Every young person don't want to be what you say they need to be. Every young person don't want to do what you say they want to do. So I learned talking with these young kids like, what you want to do? And I just started building around what they wanted to do with my resources. And that's what kind of gave me the concept of my purpose with the program. And, I started the program in 2003, and I took the tour to Cincinnati. I had a 3-day Hip Hop Ether Summit. And I started in Cincinnati. I did one in Chicago. I did one in St. Louis. I did one in Ohio. Okay. And I came back to Atlanta after that. And I was sponsored. I had the NFL behind me. I had celebrities behind the program because I did a 3-day summit, and it wasn't about music. It was all about, preserving the culture. It was all about education. It was all about awareness. And that for me, that was my purpose. I really loved it, but I still had that connection to the street. So it made it attractive to some of the young artists that wasn't trying to hear no regular pit talk. So I meet a lot of young homies that was banging, a lot of young homies out there hustling. They wanted to pull me to the side like, yo, OG, you know what I mean? And that's when I felt like my sermons was kicking in, because they wasn't going to talk to nobody else because they didn't believe them. They didn't believe what they looked like. They didn't believe what they were saying. But when I dropped them jewels, and they was like, that shit real, you know what I mean? But I gave it to them real. I gave it to them raw. And for me, that was purposeful, you know what I mean? To see, I know this brother probably had a thumper on him, probably ready to do whatever, you know what I mean? But end up talking about God and spirituality and making moves, and if he had an option to do something else, would he do it?
That's dope.
And from that, I came back to Atlanta, and I was the keynote speaker at Tuskegee University, you know what I mean, for the Entrepreneurial Summit, you know what I mean? And that was I did that for about 2 years at Tuskegee. And when I finally got settled back into just the business in Atlanta, I started managing fish scales for NACA groups.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they got signed with, I think, Atlantic at that time. And I was rocking. Tony Sutton was their A&R, and I was working with him. And, it was just, I still was dabbling, you know what I mean? So I was juggling it, because I always wanted them brothers to hustle, but I'm not a felon, and I never had a drug charge. You know what I mean? But, if I had to turn the black book open, it would probably look like a movie, right?
Exactly.
So I'll leave it there.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so.
Where did the film thing come in, this big film studio and all of that?
Well, as you evolve in the game, you see what's winning. That the music shit is cool, but just because you're an artist, that don't mean you're gonna make no money. And I was helping so many people because I had money. My lifestyle was starting to dwindle in I think the equity that I wanted to be in, because I was giving, and it wasn't really fulfilling for me enough. And I work with some dope artists, but the industry is different, you know what I mean? And everything ain't guaranteed to check, especially for when you're used to a certain type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? So I end up closing a deal with a company. I was working a liquor company with one of my partners from Finland. He had a liquor company here in Atlanta, and I was his urban marketing director. So I was pushing his product into the videos, and people remember that little wave. It was called Finish Line. It was like a Smirnoff Ice, but it was from overseas, so it was real strong. And I was pushing it in the hood. I was pushing it in the clubs. I had it in a lot of videos. And after about 3 years, I think he sold the company, went back to Finland. A year later, he called me and said, "Hey, Rob, you remember you told me about your grandmother's fried chicken?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I want to bring it over to Finland." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "I want to bring your family." So we created the whole marketing package. and introduced my family recipe to the country of Finland. And they accepted it as American comfort food, and I became the face of my own brand for 9 years.
Damn.
And for me,
they
like
eating grandma's chicken in
grandma's chicken in Finland, and for me, it was just like, now that's something that I felt like nigga could talk shit all day, but if you could say nigga came from 2 of the worst projects in the States and then be the face of his own fried chicken in the whitest country in Europe, you know what I mean? I think that could definitely represent what not only my fortitude and my zeal, but my ambition to do more. You know what I mean? I'm literally from the 2 of the worst projects nationwide, you know what I mean? And then to be in Finland and be able, so that was my first BoardRoom. It was 2010. I was able to sit with some billionaires and millionaires and sell my concept and my marketing concept of introducing my family recipe to the country. And I was in Finland, I had 12 restaurants, it was 9 years, and COVID pretty much shut that down, but I had put a nice bag together. And that's how I was able to start getting into the film industry, because I was like, how could I maintain that type of money? Because it ain't gonna be the rap game, it ain't gonna be music. Now I love to help artists in the music game, but that wasn't what I had to flip it. And I said, Atlanta is number one metropolitan for film and production, the tax credits, the film credits. I said, but everybody want to be the talent. I said, what if I got one of these buildings? And I had partnered with a couple of brothers who had studios, and I created a couple of relationships where we said, let's get our first building. So we ended up putting some bread together, and I tapped into my portal so we could secure it. We bought the old Comcast, the first Comcast building in Gwinnett, like 37,000 square feet.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it was a super dope situation. And you know what I mean, we shot videos, we did films, you know, the Atlanta Avenue was shot in there. We did 100 videos, you know, from Moneybag Joe, 21 Savage, you know, The Baby, Fujiano. We did a lot of videos, man, a lot of film productions, a lot of movies, a lot of different type of productions and podcasts and things. And, you know, I got called back over to Finland, and while I was gone, things didn't really work out with the team that we had managing the facility, and I had to pivot off that play when I got back. So I tapped into that bucket again one more time, and I got a 51,000 square foot facility, and that's when I started understanding how to maneuver the business, because this is like one of the second largest black-owned film facilities in Georgia, next to Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was one building, 3 levels. You know what I mean?
I saw that. That's a hell of a claim. Yeah, so
Yes, sir.
the new venture I was talking about or whatever, you know, without giving too much away or whatever, what can you let us know about that?
Well, so I guess the Rapstar energy drink, you know, I was one of the strategic partners when we launched the campaign to push Who's America's Next Rapstar. And Rapstar energy drink was one of the components. And you know, I was very strategic, and you know, I that title that I told you, Resource Acquisition Specialist.
Yes, sir.
You know, my partners over there, they always say, "What's the damn title again?" You know, because I didn't have a formal title. You know what I mean? Because I did so much. So you know, I'm an executive partner with them brothers over there. Shout out to Rose, shout out to Cass and Derek. Them brothers doing their thing over there.
That's just the newest one. You have a lot of titles.
Yeah. I got a few. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, people say, you know, what you do? You know, what you do for a living? I say, I make moves.
Right.
Yeah.
That way.
Too much.
Like, what you do? Like, why you want to know? You know, like
Jack of all trades, master of all.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Believe me. But I contribute, you know, like me just being spiritually grounded and, you know, taking on my purpose and accepting my assignment. You know what I mean? But I still had a thirst for a lifestyle, so I made sure the business that I was doing, you know, matched, you know, what I wanted to get out of it. You know, and so one of my partners, Cass and they had started the Rapstar campaign. And one of my other brothers, Fahim Ali, he owns King Water. And King Water is the 33 acres out in Chatsworth, Georgia. Our brother Fahim, he owns the water plant and a natural alkaline spring that pumps 1 million gallons of water a day.
Wow.
So he's doing a lot of white labeling and people who want to get their own water brand, alkaline water brand and things like that. So I started doing what I do and connecting the dots. you know, just making moves. I got a little abstract kind of campaign on how I work, you know, but what I did is I identified that, you know, the energy drink, Rap Star, that's a culture brand, you know, and I was telling Cass, like, look, Rap Star is water, you know what I mean? And we worked out a play where we introduced both brothers, and both of them brothers, you know, knew each other but not worked with each other, right? From back in my first studio. But I connected the dots, and we had a big meeting down in Buckhead, and we agreed on terms, and we worked out the deal, and we created Rap Star H2O.
That's one of the best waters I had to drink.
Yeah, and it's pure alkaline, you know what I mean? It's like 7.8 pH out the spring. And it's an amazing thing, man. Shout out to both of them brothers, man, for doing their thing. But to be able to have the water, and you got the energy drink, which is the ultimate performance, but you know, health as well. So we got to be able to get the kids right too. They can't drink energy drinks all day, and you know, I think it's going to be energy. So that Rap Star H2O, we're going to do the official drop in January, top of the year, and that's going to spin off into some of the big things I got going on, you know, in Vegas, 2024. You know
so
what I mean?
Rap Star H2O hasn't officially launched yet. That's a 2024 thing.
Yeah, definitely. We, you know, I think Rose jumping on board and partnering with Rap Star Energy Drink. That campaign is heavy. Rose going crazy with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we getting ready to secure the distribution and activate that. You know, we really making some noise with it, and it's gonna be it's a dope product. You know, it's a dope brand. You know what I mean? And you know, they got a nice support system with Rose putting, you know, his resources together to make it pop. So, you know, him being that part, he's a partner now, not just an ambassador.
Oh, really?
He's a partner with Rap Star Energy Drink.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, so me creating a situation with Rap Star Energy Drink and Rap Star H2O. So we took the Rap Star brand and connected with the King Water, and we came up with the Rap Star H2O. Which I'm a co-owner with Rap Star H2O. So yeah, we're gonna launch that drop in 2024. You know, first quarter, and this will be nationwide. And I got a whole campaign, the Health is Wealth campaign, that I'm gonna launch, you know, of my own. And hopefully, I'm gonna activate the product in Vegas for some of the Super Bowl events that's going on. And I'll definitely be very active. You know what I mean? This Super Bowl coming up. I got some nice strategic relationships. You know what I mean? It's going down, and you know, I think it's going to be a very dope top of the year, and you know, closing out this next chapter for me. I went through my chrysalis to kind of, you know, go through the Job, go through all the phases of the ups and downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and now, you know, I was able to keep faith. You know what I mean, and stay disciplined. And now the harvest is about to hit, man. And
how did it feel getting that Barack Obama award, the presidential
Lifetime Achievement Award,
giving back to the community?
Yeah.
How did it feel like getting some actual flowers on paper? Not that you wasn't already doing it, but how did it feel being acknowledged in that manner?
You know, for me, you know, when you in the streets or you in the industry, it ain't never. It's always like a pat on the back. But to get it from like a national platform, you know, I received my award at the state capitol. You know what I mean? I was able to get it signed. You know, it was really an experience for me. It was just like, okay, I got to keep that frequency on that level. Yeah. You know what I mean? And in 2021, I got an honorary doctorate from the United Nations. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just this past couple weeks ago, for the Bridge the Gap conference, I received my second Lifetime Achievement Award from Biden. So I got 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards.
From two different presidents.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's big. That's big, baby.
Gratitude.
Hey, you doing big things, my brother.
I do it for us, you know what I mean?
As you always say, you making moves.
Yeah, making big motion, you know what I mean? But, you know, just to say this, man, like Fraathouse, you know, and I always talk in the tone, you know what I mean? Sometimes we get tested in life, in business, you know what I mean, relationships. So everything's a test. You know what I mean? Because when you wake up breathing, man, you're supposed to chop wood, whatever it is, whatever you get help. Because you know, I done went through it. I done had money, I done lost money. One thing I ain't never stopped doing is going hard. And that's why it don't matter about who talk shit or who say what. Exactly. You know what I mean? Because my emotions speak for itself. I'm verifiable on a lot of levels. You know what I mean? And I ain't really, you know, that concerned with what other people say. But when you accept your assignment and you and your purpose, I mean, God gonna bless you. God gonna put you exactly where you need to be. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, what I stand for, man. And I show that part of me as an example of just having faith and doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, I love the fact that we met you, man. You definitely an inspiration to us.
No doubt, man. I appreciate y'all having me. That's why I say it.
And thank you for everything. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you for the game. And thank you for being you, my brother.
This is gonna be the first time y'all see him on here.
Nah, I'm rocking with Fraathouse. I'm getting ready to direct all my artists and my whole catalog, my whole team. I'm getting ready to bring everybody to the podcast. We're gonna lock in, man.
That's love.
Y'all part of this Raw Familiar movement that I got.
That's love,
you know
man. Bring some of that rap star H2O
I got you.
with you.
We gonna have it on the table.
That's some good water.
Yeah, definitely.
2024, we'll be back.
Let the people know where they can find you at before we go, brother.
You can go to my lifestyle website, which is PLX Incorporated. That's PLX Incorporated spelled out .com. And my IG is RaRa _PLX _rap star. Y'all tap in, man, hit my DM. I'm a real person. I'm accessible if your spirit is right. Bless up.
Yes, sir. Blessings, man. At Fraathouse 11.
Yeah.
Always spell the frat with them double A's. You heard? Subscribe, like, share. Get it.
Bottom line.
I'm still the paper boy, getting out the paper boy. 80 cent money caller, yeah, that's my top toy. Hey, partner, get your girl, cause every time she call